And we've got some news from James Allen.
Just adding to what you guys were saying actually there about the superiority of Michael and where it comes from. Is it the tyres, is it the driver? Martin said earlier in the race, look how good Michael is on the brakes, and standing here just on the entry to La Source corner, you can see that he's much later on the brakes into La Source than Damon Hill. He's making up about a second every time. Just on this early part of the lap, as Martin pointed out, he was 3 seconds faster on his outlap after his pit stop. And it's those things, it's the braking for the bus stop, it's the braking for La Source, and the way he's going through with the car. It's absolutely fantastic, and that's a big part of his advantage today.
And look at Irvine, he won't get through on the inside there, but he's certainly going to be bothering Frentzen, and that's if Frentzen even knows he's there. As soon as you see all that spray, you see absolutely nothing in your mirrors. Irvine pulling out of the wheel tracks to get some kind of visibility. This is going to be interesting to watch. I think Irvine, if he gets a sniff, he will definitely have the ability to outbrake Frentzen into one of those bigger braking areas, into the bus stop or into La Source. But meanwhile, I think he's going to have to be just a little bit patient.
Gigantic encouragement for Ferrari. Eddie Irvine has just re-signed, of course, for the 1999 season. He's been on the podium 4 times already this season.
We can see Jean Todt walking down the pit lane, talking to the McLaren team, and that's why, because Michael Schumacher is trying to lap David Coulthard. Coulthard struggling around his McLaren, just not happy at all in these conditions for whatever reason. And we've seen the Ferrari team boss walking down the pit lane.
And let us not forget that David Coulthard in these appalling conditions. Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Maybe he should have been a bit more circumspect about trying to pass him, but he is out. And Mika Häkkinen, in the nicest possible way, will be delighted. The World Championship situation is now the same as it was when the Belgian Grand Prix started, and Damon Hill is in the lead.
Yes, I think they probably just radioed to David to say, let him through, he's behind you, let him through. David lifts off, and Schumi doesn't realise and runs into the back of him. The two Jordans are first and second. Ralf Schumacher just 10 seconds. Look, David's pulled over to one side, lifted off, and Michael clearly couldn't see.
Well, what an incredible development. Michael Schumacher, with yet another Belgian Grand Prix, is driving his 3-wheel Ferrari home. Shows you how stiffly set up these cars are, and a bitterly disappointed Jean Todt leaves the pit wall.
And they're cruising back slowly back to the pits. That's a very dangerous situation. No way they'll fix that car, even if it will run on 3 wheels. Never in a month of Sundays they'll get any suspension on it. Look, Coulthard appears to lift. And look at the spray. No wonder Michael can't see anything. There's absolutely, he just can't see and just runs into the back of David Coulthard.
A terrible reminder of Didier Pironi in the Ferrari, running into the back of Alain Prost in Hockenheim in practice, and effectively finishing his career as Michael Schumacher drives out of the Belgian Grand Prix, and David Coulthard comes into the pits, probably also to retire. But isn't it amazing that they can drive those cars on 3 wheels? But Michael Schumacher won't be the least bit interested in that technical fact. Angrily throws his steering wheel out of the cockpit with every good reason. You can understand his fury, because he's now effectively lost the chance of taking the World Championship lead. Now, what is he up to? He's storming down the pit lane, presumably to go. Look at him! He's saying, "I'm going to the stewards." James, can you enlighten? He's going to Coulthard. He's going to have it out with David Coulthard. This is a bit like Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna at that Belgian Grand Prix, when Nigel got him by the throat. James, what's the news?
Unbelievable altercation, as you say. Jean Todt's there, he's dragged his driver away. Michael is absolutely furious. I just saw the car as I came in, absolutely destroyed the front suspension. He's walking past me now. He's ready, he's close to tears, guys. He really is. He cannot believe this race has gone away from him. Absolutely furious, Michael Schumacher. And I just wonder, I wonder whether Coulthard, really saw that he was there. He definitely backed off. It's a very strange incident, that.
Well, Michael Schumacher will undoubtedly be thinking the worst. It's the way people do think in these circumstances. His reaction will probably be, that was David Coulthard getting in my way to stop me taking the lead in the World Championship. I'm utterly sure that that is not the case. David is not that sort of a chap. But anyway, whatever. Michael Schumacher is out. David Coulthard is out. Damon Hill, there he is in, leading the Belgian Grand Prix for the first time in a Jordan. He's leading the race for the first time since he led the Hungarian Grand Prix in an Arrows, apart from his earlier lead here, of course. And Ralf Schumacher is in second position. Jean Alesi, who is now in third place, is no challenge to either of them. He is 9 seconds behind them and lapping considerably slower. Damon Hill's last lap was... Hello, this is a replay. Just look at the anger. Michael Schumacher is normally a very laid-back, calm chap, but his dander is well and truly up now as he storms into the McLaren garage, and David Coulthard denies any responsibility, and out goes Eddie Irvine. 2 Ferraris out now, and the Ferrari mechanics can hardly believe their eyes. This is a fantastic Belgian Grand Prix.
It's 2 on corner, I believe. Irvine, obviously, I think he's going to run a little bit wide, touch that curb, look, and round it goes. Nothing he can do about that, and that's a very, very big gravel trap. He's a long way into it, and I think he's probably stalled the engine as well. There is a service road over there, look, but the back wheels have stopped, and the engine's dead. Irvine out of the race.
Now, you have to think of every possibility in the situation that Martin and I are in. They can stop this race at 3/4 distance, which is 33 laps, and give everybody full World Championship points. We're on lap 27 now. I'd see no reason why they should stop it, actually, because a lot of people are going off. But if it gets any worse, that may well happen. That is Mike Gascoigne in the middle, the new man on the technical side at Jordan. He's made a big contribution to the increased speed of these cars, which is in no way to decry what Gary Anderson did to get them to the position they were in the first place. And they're first and second. Alesi is now gaining, he's speeded up. And we're expecting Ralf Schumacher to come into the pits, as we are expecting Damon Hill, of course. Damon Hill came in on lap 16, and in that case I would expect him to come in round about lap 31 for his second stop, and that's 5 laps from now. And there's still a heck of a long way to go. Let me just run through the people who are still running in the race. On lap 27 out of 44, Damon Hill leads Ralf Schumacher, both Jordans by 14 seconds. Alesi is third, 9 seconds back. Frentzen is fourth.
Damon's missed the chicane. Damon going across the grass at the bus stop, no harm done. But at the moment, Ralph's a couple of seconds a lap faster. But you can see there, look, the inside wheel look, and he had to go across the grass. If you go through the pit lane, you've got to go through very slowly. You lose a lot of extra time. I don't believe there'll be any damage done there. A bit of grass in the radiators, but engine temperature's not the problem at the moment.
Yeah, funnily enough, Damon did actually get caught. There's
second place man Ralf in for, I assume, what is a scheduled pit stop for Ralf on a 2-stop strategy.
Rather earlier than I expected him. I was running through the order. I got to Frentzen, who is fourth. Fisichella is fifth. And Pedro Diniz in the Arrows, a lap down, is in 6th place, and I do hope he stays there, because it would be some reward for the awful luck that Arrows have had, with Mika Salo going off at enormous velocity yesterday. They brought the test car here overnight. The mechanics, the Arrows mechanics, went to bed at 11 o'clock last night, and they started work again at 2:30 this morning. Oh, Fisichella!
That's a big accident from Fisichella. I think that's coming out of the bus stop. He's obviously lost it and hit the end of the barrier. That's a very nasty accident. That'll bring out the safety car.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll bring out the... there's poor visibility there. I think he's hit the end of the pit wall.
Well, I do start to wonder whether they might not.
And we've just seen a Minardi come past without a rear wing, and this is the same thing that happened to Schumacher and Coulthard. Oh, that is a nasty accident. And now remember, Wirtz was like this in Monaco in a Benetton. Nothing he can do, no way. That's a horrible accident.
Yeah,
he brings his head over, and that just looks like a torpedo, doesn't it?
Well,
yeah, safety car's out, look.
You do have to wonder whether the race will go its full distance, as you see that enormous crash replayed. Let's see who's in the race now, because I suspect Nakano will be retiring as well. Hill is in the race, Schumacher is in the race, so is Alesi and Frentzen. Fisichella, who was 5th, is out. There's his car. Deniz is still running. That's 5 of them. So's Jarno Trulli. That's 6th. Nakano, I think, is out. And that's all that's left. All the rest have retired.